my niece and nephew, for example, come and stay for a sleepover, and something happens where one has something the other one wants, they take it off of them, the other one cries or just has a bit of an emotional storm because it's not very nice to have something taken off of you that you were using. So this is, I'll talk you through some strategies that I use to navigate that situation. So first of all, and this is just one example, this, you know, has happened hundreds, potentially thousands of times over my years of working with children. I allow space initially for their experience. So if I'm not already present with them, this is a good point. Granted, at the moment, we can't be doing this 24/7. It's not humanly possible. Usually these things occur when I'm not fully present with the children. So I've run off to go to the toilet, or I'm doing the dishes, or I'm preparing their lunch in the kitchen, and I'm not sitting with them, or even just not that I'm, you know, nearby, but fully present and witnessing and holding space for them. As soon as they feel us distracted from what they're experiencing and what they're doing, more often than not, that's when these breakouts happen, in my experience, which is just natural. Maybe all of a sudden they don't feel as safe because they're not feeling that our protective presence, where they just feel safe and content and comfortable, and, you know, their play is just flowing. It's usually when I'm not present, which we can't be 24/7. Sorry, lost my train of thought. I need to come back. Yeah, so make space for their experience, which also allows me the space to reflect on how I'm responding to it. So I used to, in this situation, maybe going back, 10 years, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, probably even up to 5 years ago, in that situation, I would have this panic come up with me, right? Like my heart would beat quickly, and I would want it to stop. I want things to go back to peace and calm and stop. You know, I would want to control the situation. Okay. Used to be my default reaction to sibling rivalry, because what was being triggered in me was, if there was sibling rivalry for me with my siblings as a child, there would be reprimand or anger and being in trouble, you know, from a parent. So that used to be my default reaction to when there was rivalry. So allowing space initially for their experience of what's just unfolded allows me the space to tune into how I'm reacting. Am I able to hold a peaceful container for their experience? And these days I am, but I didn't used to be able to. So that took a bit of work on my part to dive into what was being triggered in me through their conflicts that they were experiencing, and unpack that and release that and come to a space where I'm actually okay with conflict. When the children that are in my care, I'm okay with them having conflict, and I'm able to remain peaceful and calm. And now that I'm able to hold that peace and calm, they tend to move through it quicker. I'm noticing. Okay, so I allow space for their experience and to tune into how I'm responding to it. Allow both children to feel heard. So prompting questions. Making space for their experience sometimes is enough. This is actually a really finely tuned process. So this takes a little while to nut out, because there are so many subtleties that are at play that are important to point to and bring our awareness to in order to be able to navigate it and effectively hold the space and pass on the tools for them to navigate it for themselves. That's important. So allowing space for them to have their experience. Sometimes me just being fully present, dropping into my calm, being that safe container for them to navigate it. Sometimes they sort it out like that. Oh, okay, I didn't need to do anything. Okay, cool. If not, allowing both to feel heard and asking prompting questions. Okay, what's just happened? He took my truck. Okay, why did you take her truck? I wanted it. Okay. How do you feel right now? How did you feel when you wanted to take her truck? I felt frustrated. How did you feel when he took your truck? I felt sad. Sometimes even just that's enough. They both feel heard. The emotion has moved through them and they actually find a solution themselves. Oh, well, I just want to do this with the truck and then I'll give it back to you. Okay. And then what could you do next time you feel frustrated and you want the truck or you want the thing that she's got? Well, I could make a noise and stamp my feet and then ask for the truck, you know? So giving them tools to help them move through what they're experiencing in their body, the emotion through, rather than suppress it, because otherwise it just builds and then next time it's worse. It's hitting with the truck over the head because the first time they've suppressed the emotion instead of allowing it to move through the body. They both feel heard, prompting questions, yeah, and they often come to a resolution. And if not, you could continue to ask further prompting questions. And if it's not, tuning into the process. Is the emotion releasing? Is the charge in the situation coming to a release and moving towards resolution? Or is it looping and building up? If it's looping and building up, we need to tune back into ourselves and notice, are we actually adding frustration or anger to the situation and wanting to try to control it, which is actually building up the rivalry rather than moving it towards resolution. And sometimes we're gonna screw that up. Like when we're finding a new way with something and trying to build a new pathway and let go of old ways, rewrite the way we were parented ourselves. It's not this clean, neat, which way do I want to do it? I forget which way you guys see it when I post it. Clean, neat, straightforward diagonal climb upwards of improvement. That's not how it works. We're talking about emotion and belief systems that were ingrained in our early stages of life. So it's messy. We go backwards. We screw up. We forget to take space to breathe and be present, and we yell like we're going to screw up. That's part of the process of forming new pathways and finding better ways. But you know what? If we're screwing up and yelling anyway, then we may as well try, if that makes sense. Try and form new pathways and find better ways.